for his team. Damonte trying to get away, but Golden Glue takes him down. OmarGod goes back up the wall, leaves the Kench to be benched. A double kill for Sun. Plays Olive now going in, able to find himself a triple kill for that AD carry. Mr. Rawless getting 3. Hara, who's trying to kite away with the final hour, but Hard is there. He's got the CC. Joey ends up getting the kill of all people. Jurassic tries to finish him off, gonna be taken very, very low. Does pop an ulti. Jurassic needs to lose a little bit more HP. There you go, back into the grinder.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 Academy League. I am Julian Pastry Time Car, and this week I won the Caster Lottery and got a spot alongside Mark Zimman for this week's Academy Games.
I don't know what kind of lottery pits someone with me. That doesn't sound like a good lottery.
Well, certainly awkward,
Short
but
straw?
maybe, but I'm not the only change coming to the Academy League this week, as North America gets its first look at competitive play on patch 8.2, Mark.
And one of the things I'm really looking forward to was something that was a more minor change kind of in the entire patch, and that's the minion aggro changes. It's something that's been kind of hotly debated with how impactful it will be because it's a pretty fundamental change. But the champion, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it works with his Rise, because a lot of his combos are about landing your E and then your Q, but now E will pull minion aggro, and are they going to start walking in the way? Does it ruin his trading patterns? I want to see how that's going to play out as before, there's more Rise nerfs coming in later.
And I think there's generally just a ton of changes here on this patch. For me, the obvious one is support item changes. I mean, as far as fundamental changes, this patch wasn't that big, but seems like a lot of impactful changes. And of course, Sightstone being removed effectively is a big one.
Yes, a completely different bot lane we're probably going to see hopefully today. A lot of different AD carries, starting different things, supports as well. Now that they can not need to buy the Sightstone, maybe they rush Mobies or something like that is what I'm looking forward to.
Well, for those of you who checked out the VODs, you already have an idea of how teams adapted to the changes. The big story out of yesterday's games, though, is Cloud9 Academy is no longer undefeated, suffering a loss at the hands of Clutch Gaming.
And it's pretty impressive because they looked kind of unstoppable for a little bit, C9, but some good team fighting. A very scary Azir tends to be difficult to deal with, and so also a great game out of Moon, able to help get these guys on under control. And there you see, just pushing this in. Last second, very nice play by Eclipse to get up in the air, avoid some of that CC, make sure you can get those last hits on the Nexus.
Certainly been looking good, and of course that leaves no team undefeated. Moon, though, wasn't the only one popping off in games with Palafox, finally helping out Optic take the win over Echo Fox, and I'm really happy to see this guy have a good game.
Yeah, Palafox is one of the success stories out of the scouting grounds, and it's good to see him continue that here. A great game out of him on the Veigar counter pick of all things as well. You see him being able to use that very effectively to deter dives, keep his team in the game, and then be a late game threat, able to grab a couple kills. And it was kind of off his back that they were able to turn this game around and get that ace at the very end.
And again, sort of continuing the theme of things really getting mixed up here. Last but not least, though, despite earning himself a quadra kill, Bob Shing was not able to stop the onslaught of Team Liquid Academy in their 20-minute victory over Golden Guardians Academy.
And when you hear quadra kill in the 20-minute game on the losing team, you think, oh, it's probably late in the game, some kind of troll dive. But it was early. It was, level 6, level 8 here in the bot lane. They get 4 kills onto the Azir. We saw what Febivin was able to do with that in the LCS. Not quite the same story, as they end up getting rolled by TLA, diving very aggressively. Mickey on his Galio looks like a complete monster on that now, having a couple wins picked up. Probably should start ending up on the ban list.
Got to get the Penta. That's how you close out the games
the problem.
There. Let's take a look at how those results affected the standings, though. Team Liquid, FlyQuest, and Cloud9 are all tied for the top spot, with Clutch Gaming and Echo Fox just 1 win behind. They're followed by Optic Gaming and TSM, with the rest of the league looking to earn their 2nd win of the split. With that, let's take a look forward to the schedule. In Game 2, Cloud9 will look to bounce back against Optic Gaming. Then Clutch Gaming will go up against 100 Thieves, with each team looking for their first 2-0 week. And finally, we'll close out the day with FlyQuest versus Team Liquid before TSM and Golden Guardians close out the show. And without further ado, let's get into our first matchup, where Echo Fox goes up against CLGA Academy. Echo Fox came out of the gate strong with a 3-0 start to the Academy League, but they have suffered 2 straight losses now. First to Cloud9 last week, and Optic Gaming just yesterday.
And it was a little surprising given that Echo Fox was looking like one of the teams to beat after week 1, but now they'll have to show that they can kind of keep it together and bounce back from some tough losses, something the main team is people are hoping to see out of them as well. Bot laner Lost is a standout player in their wins. He has a completely ridiculous KDA, as you can see down there, but the team as a whole needs to rally around him and get back on track.
And while Echo Fox do look to correct their mistakes, opponents Counter Logic Gaming are still struggling to just find something that works.
And where we've seen players on other Academy teams really pull their teams to victory, we haven't really seen similar breakout performances here on the CLG squad. OmarGod has looked reasonable at different points, but he's mainly a tank player, and so they are going to need someone else to step up to the plate and really start carrying these games.
Well, now let's get into the starting lineups. On the blue side, it is FOXA. In the top lane, Allorim. In the jungle, OddOrange. Their mid laner, Damonte. ADC Lost, and support, Chau.
And selecting the red side for game 1, surprisingly, it is Counter Logic Gaming. In the top lane, we will have Fallnbandit.
He will be.
Jungle, OmarGod. In the mid lane, Tuesday. And then the bot lane that everyone keeps talking about for CLG, the autofill bot lane.
I love it. And again, this is a team that has been with CLG for quite a while. You know, they've had a second team, a B team, an academy team for a little bit. And I just think, kind of like the main team, a lot of expectations for these guys, not really been able to get it together, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
at least early in the season. Remember, it's
early
still
in the
early.
season. It is early, but like you said, this is one of the most consistent roster, and not even just Academy and LCS as well. They kept all 5 guys for the most part, and OmarGod rejoined them after having his stint on the main squad, but have not been able to really turn things on and show that synergy early.
And I think the other thing you said is interesting is that they did select red side. We've seen a lot of blue side priority in champs like, so maybe with the new patch, we just have a whole lot of changes here in draft.
It's definitely surprising, not just in terms of what you expect to see, but also in terms of performance. For the most part, blue side has been crushing internationally, every region, every level of play. So it is surprising to see people opt into the red side. Fallnbandit does have his weird picks, and so maybe they're looking for a specific counter pick matchup.
Well, we'll see the bans here. Kalista, Azir, and Tom Kent for FOXA Academy. CLG with Zoe and Rise. So 3 mid laners already with maybe 1 more to come. Damonte has been looking quite good, but it's Kog'Maw instead of the final ban.
You would have expected Malzahar there on patch 8.1. Already seeing a little bit of difference. That is a champion who a lot of people think priority will drop, just less effective. So we'll have to see if he ends up getting picked, but he's gotten through the ban phase.
Well, 10 seconds now for this first pick. This is the man that we're going to see a lot of, I think. Galio could have winded his way over to patch 8.2, despite not receiving many changes.
I think it's the thing where in 8.1, at least in North America and in the LCS, people were so stagnant and kind of just set on like, oh, these are the 4 best picks. But in other regions, there are a lot of mid laners getting played, and now that we're on 8.2, a couple of these nerfs come in, I think you'll start seeing a lot more champions. And Galio, like you said, seems like one of the ones that people kind of forgot about.
Yep.
He's a little more AP now, but he's still strong.
Yeah, it does exactly the same thing as Xayah. Going to be the first pick here for CLG Academy. Again, stock certainly rising for this champion. It's just crazy to think how much has changed on a single patch cycle.
Yeah, with the changes to the sustain essentially in the bot lane that you're losing with the Relic Shield and all that stuff, new champions can start making their way in. Xayah felt like a champion that was still perfectly strong, just not in people's favor for some reason. And now maybe with the ability to poke people out, with their ability to win trades and have that damage stick, which is something Xayah is great at, maybe that's why you're seeing her now.
Yeah, partly I just feel like it's a scaling thing. It's like everyone's focused on Tristana, Kog'Maw, these types of really late game champions, but I think Xayah perfectly slots into more of the mid game. Sejuani, though, is the next pick for OmarGod, certainly one he is well practiced on, and we'll see what Fox have for their pick.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, OmarGod on Sejuani, and didn't see that one coming.
And also, like, a champion that really didn't get changed much at all with the patch.
Right, she is a champion that can pick a lot of different things in the jungle. Well, there's a fair amount of flexibility. You can go the Aftershock if you want to bring more damage. If you're concerned about your early game, you grab Fleet Footwork. Some people even take Unsealed Spellbook, like you saw in Europe. Just teleport Sejuani, because why not,
Everyone gets an Unsealed Spellbook, as Jarvan and Camille, actually the next few picks for Fox. This is something we would expect more in 8.1, but again, same kind of story. Jarvan, Sejuani, top tier junglers, didn't really get changed in this patch.
Nope, and it's a great comp already for topside Snowball. We haven't really seen what CLG is going to take into the Camille, but you have the backup from Galio, and we're going to get an Illaoi.
Illaoi, don't see too much of her, but always fun. Certainly a champion that in solo queue has received quite a lot of attention.
And it's interesting because Illaoi is kind of that champion where you want to punish her because she's not very mobile, but when you gank her post level 6, you're kind of like opting into a big fight that she can kind of win 2v1s. So it's an interesting pick into a Jarvan and the Camille who want to lock you into a certain area, and then she's going to try and turn that area into her playground.
Yeah, we'll see if she can do that there. But again, Klepto also getting changed on this patch, I believe, so potentially affecting Illaoi there. Tristana, though, is the ban for CLG Academy, so taking that Xayah, now going after the AD carries, this Talia is the first ban for Fox here in Phase 2.
Right, so we see that the kind of mismatches, CLG having their AD carry but not their mid, flip side for Fox Academy. So Tristana banned out, probably one of the strongest ones left available after the Kog'Maw Kalista bans. So like you said, probably going to see some attempt at a hyper carry, but after you get rid of those, I mean, we start to see more things like Caitlyn taken or Varus, and those don't really fulfill that role until the Varus actually banned out.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal's kind of a big one that jumps to mind, especially for Lost, but again, same thing. Ezreal did get hit on this patch with the Mystic Shot change, and Klepto also affects him.
Right, so it's tough now to see what Fox Camille are going to have to go with here. The Kleptomancy change is a really interesting one because a lot of people were starting to opt into it more. Illaoi was another user of that, so already seeing those rune choices coming into play early on.
And there's Vladimir actually for CLG. Looks like mid lane, given that Illaoi has already been picked. So, you know, certainly we've seen more top, I think, but you can play it in different spots. Oh.
I was going to say, you know, Illaoi top is what we expect, but it has been ran in support in other regions. I think it's primarily China where they do some wonky stuff there. You know, you hear that, you're like, oh, it's probably China. Yeah. But I will say, with the Kleptomancy changes, that doesn't affect bot lane Illaoi for the most part. So she will stay at full power. Nothing on this patch should really have affected her. Maybe even with the changes to itemization down there, it might even become easier for her. I don't know. We'll have to see because there's still a possibility for that Vlad to go mid or top.
Well, Rakan was the ban for Fox Academy in Phase 2, keeping that away from CLG. And he called the Caitlyn mark. There it is, pairing with Braum as they finish off that bot lane.
It's an annoying bot lane because they can still land the Braum stacks on you, and Caitlyn can proc those very easily with her range, but it's not nearly as an oppressive lane as some of those old Caitlyn Lulu lanes. So Xayah will be doing just fine in keeping up with the push, especially if they end up locking in that Janna.
And again, Relic Shield changes, not as much to stand. There's Janna, and all of a sudden, things are kind of coming back full circle.
Oh boy, yeah, I would love to see Lulu, Janna, Karma in the bot lane again.
Sure?
No! Not at all.
That's the big though for Phil here, and again, Janna. I mean, Janna and Lulu, I think, were already pretty good on this patch. With all the changes to melee supports, kind of getting hit with the support changes, Janna feels like kind of a no-brainer.
And especially in terms of the quest rewards that were lost now that the quest leads to Sightstone, I think a lot of people thought Relic Shield's quest line had some of the best upsides, just made you tankier early on, and that was great on melee supports. They are losing a fair amount of effective HP from the changes.
Well, we'll see what happens here, but fun stuff to kick things off here. CLG certainly looking to recover from what's been a rough start for them in Academy. Fox Academy on the other side, bouncing back. They felt like they were going to run the tables in the first few weeks, but have not done so far. But I'm already excited just to see the slew of changes that have kind of happened here. Again, a champion like Galio, I mean, maybe not a new one, certainly, but I'm glad to just see it enter the North American scene.
Yeah, especially in this comp. It's such an interesting lineup where you have very, very clear focus on topside Snowball. Caitlyn, Braum are mostly going to be looking to hold on to the laning phase. And then CLG Academy, I mean, they just got this like kind of weird team fight comp where everyone's good in 5v5s, but they don't have a great way to start them. Sejuani being their only engage. Illaoi known for having struggles getting into a team fight. Vladimir can get in, but sometimes people can get away from him if there's no lockdown. And then Janna mostly appeal.
Well, it looks like Fallnbandit not setting up tentacles for a leash right now, but everyone just kind of spread out across the river. Lost though, going to peek in, might just see auto, but doesn't quite yet. And everyone playing pretty chill. There's certainly some potential for invades, but looks like everyone's just going to play safe, which I guess I don't blame them for. New week, new patch, don't want to be too hasty.
Yeah, who knows? Exactly, Braum is always scary to invade in on. You get a stack on you. Suddenly there's 4 people in the brush. Insta-pop on that stack, you're going down.
There's also a ton of Ignites in this game, by the way. Phil and Tuesday both have them and Puppet Chow on the other side. I'm suspecting some spellbooks are also in the mix.
I believe that is very likely. You could probably see that on the side of CLG Academy. Realistically, on almost 4 champions, depending on if Xayah wants to grab it or not. Still fleet footwork, actually, as those pop in. And it still is Kleptomancy Illaoi, if I can see that right.
Yep, you can. So Fallnbandit, I think it's probably one of her best keystones. So despite the changes, you're kind of priced into that one. OmarGod taking his blue buff for himself. So should be okay there. As we check in with this top lane, Comet for Allorim, which has certainly been the standard on Camille. As you can see, W leads to a slow, which leads to a nice, easy Comet.
And also surprising, continuing on with runes, is the electrocute on Damonte. It's something that has gotten a little bit of popularity, but a lot of people were still kind of favoring the Unsealed Spellbook. But it does give you a fair amount more threat when you actually do get into a fight, getting that little bit of extra damage.
I do like it. And again, Damonte on the Galio, certainly a champion that's changed quite a lot since the full tank just wave clear days. You build a lot more AP and do the damage now, but you're a little bit more vulnerable. Realistically, you pick for your poke and wave clear and your ultimate.
Absolutely. So electrocute, when you do land that ultimate in side lane, it's going to be much more impactful now.
Yep, certainly have a good combo as well in that whole top side. We've seen, again, a lot of this in regions where Galio is more popular. Jarvan Galio was always a good combo if you look back to Worlds last year. Camille's kind of doubling down on that sort of engage.
And on the side of the CLG, they do have some ways to outplay it, obviously. If you try to go in on the Xayah, she can go up in the air. If you're going in on Vladimir, he can go into his pool. Illaoi a little bit more susceptible, but like we said, if she gets a little tanky and she can drop her ultimate down, you might not want to be locked in there. It's going to be one of those roar stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's trapped in with who? Is Omar going to clear out the Raptors? Level 3 right now on the Sedge. Looks like both junglers are pathing topside. Double buffs everywhere. Orange in onto his Gromp, but looks like a lot of passivity to start the other game. And I think those 7 stopwatches might add to that as we eventually approach the 6-minute mark. Lost and Papa Chow trading back. Papa Chow eating a face full of Janna damage from Airy there.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Stopwatch still taken.
Yep, that one didn't change.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Is again just pathing back and forth. Kind of curious to see if we can see more action in the bot lane. Again, once the stopwatches are up, it's a lot harder to do some sort of dive, but at least as far as harassment and actually denying waves and minions off your opponent, there's a bit more space for that as well.
And we've seen that with Braum into Janna, while it is a Janna favored matchup, it is very jungler dependent. In the 100 Thieves games versus CLG, they ganked it very aggressively as Tuesday not in the best position, but should be able to get after it just fine.
Empowered Q up, so just Qs away and takes a bit of extra damage there from OddOrange, but should be okay. And keeping up nicely in CS as well. Actually push that out to go roam as Allorim with another comment in onto a Fallnbandit, but Illaoi right now getting that push going. This is a very odd matchup actually. You don't see this one too much.
No, it's not at all the common matchup. It's also one that doesn't have as much outplay potential necessarily on the terms of Illaoi. A lot of matchups against Camille have really like weird situations where if you can stun her out of her wall jump and things like that, you can really mess with her combos, and she wants to disjoint your spells, but there's not much disjoint on the side of Camille. You can dodge like a tentacle smash or something like that, but if she lands the test of will on you already, it's just a very strange matchup.
It's actually interesting to me because I feel like Illaoi is just kind of like this juggernaut, right? She gets stronger as the game goes on. It kind of feels like a gear check in a raid in an MMO where it hits a point where Illaoi just like has too many items, is too tanky, does too much damage, and outplay all you like. She's just gonna beat you 1v1.
And sometimes I think, especially when Quas was playing her last year, you saw that she does fit into team situations better than I think people give her credit for. In solo queue, it doesn't work, but in a more structured team game and competitive, you have times where you're standing at Baron for 45 seconds baiting it. And her E is a great way to force people back. If you land that onto a primary target, even if you don't kill them, you chunk them extremely low. And that, like I said, not super valuable necessarily in solo queue settings, but that is very powerful and competitive.
Well, actually a TP back from Bandit, so does go back down a little bit of CS. Allorim should do the same, although right now is walking based on the position of that wave. A Tiamat now finished for Camille, and this is kind of what we expected here in the bot side, especially with a champion like Caitlyn. Lost in Papa Chow, just chugging those waves towards the turret.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see CLG willing to play more aggressive and battle them here, but going with the Doran Shield start on Xayah. A lot of people are hoping that the meta would get more aggressive with the changes to Relic Shield, but I think there's always the possibility that you just see Doran Shield take the place of Relic Shield, still a defensive start, and the lanes don't get that much more aggressive.
I will say that especially if you look towards the NALCS, the bot lanes that have been more successful are the ones that are willing to be more aggressive. I think it makes sense. Like, it feels so fruitless to do some sort of all-in or trade when they're just going to heal it all back up. But eventually, if you do it enough times, you will actually get an advantage. So you certainly want to be proactive. It's not an excuse to play defensively just because the meta says so.
Absolutely, and the thing is, too, if we do start going back to this squishier meta where Karma, Lulu, Janna start becoming more prevalent, you saw at Worlds, hey, just because you're in that meta doesn't mean you can't pick Leona and try and kill all of them.
Unfortunately, no. Even though I would love that. Still back here in the top side, though, just checking in general, about 7 minutes through the game, and it's been fairly quiet, actually. Jungler's just been farming, everyone's getting their stopwatches online, so kind of expecting a slower, maybe 6-7 more minutes.
Yeah, I think once you start seeing sixes come in, for especially the side of Fox, they have a lot of potential to snowball and set these kind of crazy dives up with the Galio Jarvan combination, so you might see more action. And as Illaoi starts trying to get more focus on a bully, people can start trying to jump in on her, and some very intense trading up on the top side. Also very interesting, Illaoi going with double Ruby Crystal start, maybe anticipating some of that aggression coming up on her side of the map and wants to focus more on surviving the initial couple gank attempts.
Yeah, Camille's got pretty sick gank assists, so definitely want to avoid that one as Orange fancying something here. Down towards the bot side. Bandit again back in. There's the ultimate Allorim. That's his clone. It's taking a little too much damage. Slow will land. Allorim is now the vessel, and Camille's got to play back.
And with that pressure on the top side, looks like Fox, instead of going to cover, are going to try and look at this bot lane turret and get Caitlyn going.
Yep, Orange at level 6, ready to go. No ultimate there for Xayah just yet. Does get trapped in the pit. The arena is set. Lost is looking for it, though. Stopwatch is popped. Damonte is down here, though, for the assist as Auto flashes out of the way, but he gets stunned out of the stasis, and first blood over to Lost. Oh my god, looking for it. Flashes for the ulti as Lost flashes out of it. Chau still in a bit of trouble. Hops back towards Damonte. Chau staying with the big hemo play. Torn there from Damonte to try and stop the bleeding, but Chau goes down.
Which ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. Slightly favoring the side of Fox, because you do want to get that Caitlyn going. She gets the first blood bonus. Cleanup kill, not doing much else. And at the end of all that, not too much damage done to the turret. All the objectives still standing.
Yep, just a trade overall. Nice dive, though, from Fox. As Allorim actually stayed in his lane. Looks like he had some potions to chew through, and he does still have his TP, so he's able to get back to the lane and feels confident to play up here, knowing that Fallnbandit still about 25% of that cooldown left.
And taking another look at this, this is one of the best times to get the dive off. 3-6 and all their disengage tools come in, so there's no way for Xayah to stall with their ult here, no way for Janna to blow everyone back, and even though you do get that stopwatch off, you still got that Braum passive on you, very easy to pop afterwards. But now, because they live for so long, they're on the far side of this turret, even though the minions aren't, or the minions are still there taking turret aggro. It's just such a far distance to run that Tuesday and OmarGod can get in, get that cleanup kill on Chau.
Yeah, Chau getting trapped a little bit there in the dive, but such is the price of the aggression there by FOXA Academy. And as we reset this game back in, 9 minutes through, a little bit of blood spilt, but bottom lane could see even more action given that the first Drake spawn was infernal.
That sounds good for Fox Academy, given that it seems like their boss side of the map is a little bit stronger right now, and if they can get another play like that off, you would love to grab that objective.
Yeah, you can see 10 CS up for Lost, BF Sword and a Zeal versus BF Sword, 2 long swords, so certainly an advantage in total gold of those items, but in general, I think Lost just going to be a bit happier with those combat stats. His boots have also come through as well, as he did take magical footwear, so get a discount as things move on. Oh my god, though. Gets face checked by OddOrange, but Orange is out of there.
Says, get off my lawn.
Well, lawn got off. As looks like Damonte again. I think really starting to demonstrate the power of Galio. He did roam down before, didn't have to use the ultimate, but now that he and Orange, you kind of mentioned this, Mark, they have their ultimates ready to go. If they're looking to, you know, really break open bot side, take the Drake, take that turret that they've weakened, as Tuesday is forced to proto belt, they've got a pretty obvious way to attack here. And Allorim, if he needs to, can also TP down. So, yeah, CLGA Academy going to have to play this defense down the right side very carefully.
And they see them pulling the Infernal Drake, wanting to start it off, but CLGA Academy is reacting. There is a fair amount of zone control between the Galio taunts, Caitlyn traps, and all that. But I don't think that they have quite enough damage to just brute force a 5v5.
Well, does land a stun there. Trap follow up, yep, does land. Knock up also there. The Galio ultimate's going to come out, and oh my god, goodbye! OddOrange able to take that kill. Another jump lands it. Look for the taunt in onto water, but Auto, Aussie's back there on the Xayah. OddOrange forced to use that stopwatch as a double kill. Comes out for the Jarvan. Tuesday late to the rotation, trying to get a kill as Phil is actually the one to claim OddOrange. Damonte with a nice late stopwatch and moons the tornado knockoff. The rest of the team still chasing, but Tuesday a little too strong.
And on the top side, no one was able to TP in. They got their own fight going down. Allorim losing out on the trade a little bit.
Yep, again, that Phage plus Kindle Gem working in towards the Black Cleaver despite the Tiamat and the Sheen. Fallnbandit just a little too strong in these early stages. But like you said, no one's able to join, so we'll have to reset back for this objective. Is Fallnbandit, nice little stasis. Again, slapping down onto Allorim. Once again, made the vessel, slowed down, gonna have to dodge tentacles under that turret. Nice patience there, but I don't think Allorim really wants to all in here.
No, but I do think getting that stopwatch out is pretty huge because it makes Illaoi a lot more susceptible to ganks now. The concern would always be that you... Oh, he's going in.
Flash stun, TP in as well. Gonna try and lock it down. That's Allorim with a very stylish kill. But Tuesday gonna try and answer it. Allorim, no flash, but Vladimir pretty slow to chase. Flash slow after that. Protobelt's gonna follow Allorim. Still chasing through. Sanguine pull should spell the end, and it does.
Barely gets the cleanup kill, but overall a great trade for Allorim. Gets the kill himself, able to get the summoner spell out after breaking the stopwatch, so huge advantage now for him up in the top side.
I love some Sanguine pool kills though. As satisfying for you as the Vladimir as it is frustrating for your opponent as you just slowly
see the L pool. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately all that pressure does mean Infernal Drake over to FOXA Academy.
Yeah, you're able to get the teleport up to the top side on the mid laner, opens up the Infernal Dragon, taking another look at that kill. He knows the stopwatch is down. flashes to make sure Fallnbandit can't flash, gets the stun damage in, and then knowing that he has the ultimate to follow afterwards. And this is just trying to stall out, basically. You get summoner spells out of Tuesday. He stays up there and gets the kill. OmarGod was also moving up to the top side of the map, so that's just free Inferno Bridge.
Good coverage. Tuesday able to get himself second kill, actually. Powering along pretty nicely on the Vlad, with Haunting Guys now finished. Damonte also has his own proto belt, so there's a sale on apparently in mid lane. That Hextech item is auto again, laying into Papa Chau with the help of OmarGod. But 3v2 not going to last too much longer. OddOrange also shadowing his bot side that they've been getting a pretty good leg up in. You can see again, 20 CS up for Lost. And despite that pressure, again, OmarGod is trying to get down there and help. It's a little too dangerous with Damonte almost having his ult back up, I believe.
And there's just so much proactivity possible for Fox Academy. They have so many ways to pull the trigger and actually go. The concern was that the Illaoi counter pick could draw a lot of pressure, but despite, you know, getting the push advantage, hasn't really built that significant of a CS lead and actually got solo killed. So that kind of victory on the top side of the map enables you to go even harder on the bot lane. You see them going in for these constant invades, getting vision control, and making sure that eventually they're going to be able to find another dive on the bot lane here. Things are getting very precarious in the bot lane.
Dangerous for Auto there, but does manage to clear the ward relatively safely. OddOrange going to find this one next to blue buff though, take down that control ward. Again, Fallnbandit back onto Allorim. Damage is good onto the clone, but don't think Allorim was there long enough to taste the full brunt of that.
You can see so much vision in the bot lane there. No wards on the bot side at all for CLG after clearing that one out. And without counting the zombie wards, as they instantly make me wrong by throwing that ward over the wall.
I wasn't there before!
Yeah, it was 0 a second ago. But they have so much vision control between their actual wards, their zombie wards. And it's just going to make it so easy for Fox to know that, hey, OmarGod's not on this side of the map. Play safe top. We can brute force a play at any point. But instead, with OddOrange making his way up there, looks like they want to cover this blue buff invade.
Yeah, looks like maybe they feel safe enough in that 2v2, especially with Galio able to roam around. Knock up there, stun lands after. OmarGod going to have to run away though. Tuesday going to get stunned in. No, it's actually OmarGod. They're going to lock in instead. There's the Galio Jarvan combo. Goodbye, Omar! Oh, so filthy.
No way to get out at all. You have Jarvan and Camille locking you in the same place, but there is a lot of ultimates down on the side of Echo Fox, so it is hard to continue fighting the situation.
Well, Fallnbandit gets a grab, but Allorim able to skate out to safety. Blue buff successfully defended, though.
Did end up on OddOrange, though, so yeah, you got that little uptick. You lost a life to keep blue buff off a Galio.
Well,
not the best victory.
Not. You know what? We'll take it. A small one.
We take those.
This turret's about to go down, so Fox Academy about to keep themselves even further ahead. Again, all that power's transferred to the top side. Lost and Papa Chau feel strong enough in their 2v2 with a bit of early help in that dive to really force through. And this is kind of the Doomsday scenario when Caitlyn gets going. Again, Lost has not fought for a little while longer. Should be able to take this first outer turret soon, and then your standard rotations happen. You move them to other lanes, and when the map opens up, globals are really good. I mean, Caitlyn's already strong enough in a seat, and Galio can help pretty much anywhere.
And it's not just champions either, it's personnel. Lost, like we were saying, one of the key members on the side of Fox Academy for why they are so strong. And he's the furthest ahead on your team. It's very concerning for CLG Academy. And like we said, not great engage tools. How are you actually going to get onto this Caitlyn when she's sieging down in front of your turrets?
Well, 2,000 gold up, and Infinity Edge completed with Zerka Greaves and that Zeal that Lost had earlier. Looks like they're rotating to the top side, going to try and help out Allorim. Fallnbandit going a little deep here for this turret, but he's got Phil and Auto behind him. The turret is going to fall. That's a nice counter push there from CLG Academy.
Yeah, it was interesting. They knew that with how low the turret was on the bot side, Fox Academy's bot lane was going to stay down there to finish it. They recall early, starts transitioning up to the top side, knowing that they're going to be down, but now they're stuck in the lane again. It's nice that you got that turret, but you're still matched up in the 2v2 bot lane.
Yeah, red buff Galio also making pretty short work of a lot of that turret's HP. Damonte is farming up a storm here. I mean, Tuesday's just fine as well. They have similar scorelines and pretty close in CS also, but again, just the total mobility that Damonte has with his ultimate and the TP, especially since Tuesday has swapped to Ghost over Teleport. It's going to be a lot harder to track this Galio in any sort of fight.
It's also interesting to see his build path. Galio's really nice because of the flexibility that's available. You can go with the Abyssal Mask if you're trying to go into more AP threats, or if you yourself have more AP threats, if you want that early damage amp for your entire team, but he's on an all-physical damage team, so instead he goes the Proto Belt right away and then builds into flat magic resist pen. Gonna end up going with that Leandries. So just a lot of choices that you can make, and it looks like Damonte's making all the right ones.
Yeah, both mid laners should be there soon. As Phil is going to get Infinity Edge on. Essence Reaver is done for auto, and looks like Lost didn't get too many crits onto that Janna. So Phil, Ignite Janna, stay safe for now.
Yeah, that's a very scary proposition.
Invade though. OddOrange, so just going to put a pretty quick rest of that one. Allorim again in trouble. Fallnbandit might just go all the way in for the dive. Allorim forced to flash out of the way. Fallnbandit's going to chase. Hook shot away, and Allorim got to dodge maybe a little bit more, but is still safe. Tentacle not going to get it.
Yeah, he's safe for now, but with all that pressure that Fallnbandit's able to produce, they are going to try and take that down. But Tuesday's getting ganked in the mid lane.
Yep, taking them damage, but just Hemo Plagues defensively. Doesn't have to burn any summoners. And OmarGod popping that Rift Tower that they got earlier after that trade in bot side does mean the turrets are going to equalize a little faster. Phil though forced to pop the watch. Although damage back in, Allorim's actually comes to the top side with a TP. Lost gets one, that's going to be two. Allorim collects a second. EchoFox 2 kills and the turret.
But you're in a bit of a split push situation now, or base race, excuse me, as they have Shelly helping down the bot side, but 4 men up on the top.
And like I was saying, very impressive from CLGA Academy to recognize that Fallnbandit is strong, and that's a point they can really push on this map and try and get some gold back. They were behind and are still in total gold, but getting an additional objective, if they can save this top tier 2 especially, this is a really intelligent trade from CLG. Dunk, popped out by Tuesday, nice flash from the Vlad, but won't have either summoner for a little while now.
CLG doing, like you said, a really good job trading. That CS lead starting to accumulate more and more on the bot side. The extra sustain that is available for Illaoi through Kleptomancy, as well as just whenever a tentacle hits an enemy champion, feels like it's giving her these big pushing advantages. Yes, hold on.
Ooh,
Tuesday.
that was really slick from Damonte. Tuesday just got locked up in the Galio CC chain. Ignite down, though he flashes out to safety. OmarGod going to go back in with a Papa Chau is there to defend. Phil low, and TP in as well from Fallnbandit, but nothing to come of that play. And Damonte does get out.
That was a bit surprising to see for CLG Academy, not willing to just kind of concede that turret after they overextended going for that dragon. Here, the dive is just too easy. After OmarGod shows down the bot lane, you realize that there's no way for them to really contest this, unless the Illaoi's going to TP in, but Allorim pulls the trigger first, shows up, helps finish this off. OddOrange also there. Just a really clean 2v2 dive started, but then Tuesday just proto-belting in for some reason. Gets obliterated by the electrocute Galio.
I don't even think he meant to die. I think Damonte was just cleaning the wave out with his heroic charge, and Tuesday got caught in the crossfire. Regardless, play does not go well for CLG after losing that mid-outer turret, and despite the turret score being even, that's a little disingenuous to the total map position.
Absolutely. You saw the proto-belt by Vlad putting him in the path of the Justice Punch. Oops. And then Sejuani was coming from behind.
Delivered.
Yeah. Well, just one of the concerns that you have with CLG Academy was their coordination, and you can kind of see where it crops up there.
Well, on the other side, EchoFox still looking to put a stronger hold on the map. 4K up, the next Drake for them will be Infernal. CLG Academy got the Cloud Drake, but I think that's a trade that Fox are happy to make. 2 items for loss. Also, as Allorim works towards his second. And we talked about Leandrews earlier for the mid laners. Actually, both sides have it. Yeah. Damonte's now finished that damage item as well, working on his third.
Almost identical build paths. The only difference is the boot choice. And I am a little surprised to see Galio go with the Merc Treads. There's really not much CC on the side of CLG Academy. You have Sejuani and everything that she brings, and then I guess Xayah, but that's pretty much all you're looking at. And afterwards, they're not doing too much else. Maybe picked it for the matchup specifically to itemize some MR without needing to go into a full item. It's hard to say.
Certainly is, but you mentioned, mostly just going to be flying in there anyway. With all the help you can get from Camille and Jarvan. Auto also trying to play catch up just as Zeal right now, although probably has some gold to go and spend. Looks like that CS lead is building pretty heavily though here for Lost. Approaching 50 pretty quickly as EchoFox can just kind of take their time. Again, 22 minutes in, still relatively early in the overall game. Should be comfortable in this position.
Yeah, and on the flip side, top side of the map has only about a 20 CS lead. Illaoi, while she does become strong in the 1v1, if she's actually able to dive Allorim is going to be the thing, because she got really close on that bot lane previously, but she needs to actually convert those into kills and draw pressure down to herself.
Yeah, Allorim's also shown that, you know, he's pretty evasive on a champion like Camille. And of course, eventually should be able to scale into the split push and at least neutralize that that potential threat. CLG, though, again, just kind of moving around. Really just, I think, don't want to lose the next Infernal Drake is the obvious thing here. I mean, given the amount of control FOXA have, especially given that Lost is building in towards item number 3 in pretty short order. I don't know how realistic that is, but if you can keep it off, especially that Caitlyn, go a long way to helping you here in this game. But Baron now up, certainly a threat that both teams can attack, and CLG gonna probably have too many questions to answer and not really equipped to do so.
Yeah, if Fox can kind of get that great vision control that we saw on the bot side earlier, now on the top side, it's going to be a ton of pressure for CLG to face check. That Caitlyn, like you said, nearing 3 items, not many armor items that she's going up against. So you can expect her to chew through those tanks, frontliners for CLG Academy, and that's always the concern. Caitlyn from behind or even, not that worrying, but when she gets ahead like this, she just destroys front lines.
And kind of FOXA, you can see why they're putting stock into their young import AD carry player. Was good at getting ahead on the likes of Ezreal. Now that that champion's got changed, doing kind of the same thing here on Caitlyn. And again, much like the main team here, which is always fun to draw comparisons, FOXA are a team that played pretty fast and loose at times.
Yeah, that you can see just with the strategy itself, a clear snowball top or bot strategy, get some winning side lanes and let's go. And they're executing it pretty well. The question will be, can they close out the second portion of the snowball, which is where FOXA, the main roster, is still great at. The Academy team, we'll have to see if they struggle with that.
We'll see if their learnings will net them the next Drake. Infernal up in a minute 20 as OddOrange back towards the Baron area, wanting to make sure he has vision over that. Double checking, looks like he has a Knight's Vow as well. So again, a lot of investment into the carries here from FOXA Academy. Auto though on the other side as we're kind of keeping track of the marksman. 2 items for Xayah isn't bad. She'll scale pretty well as the game goes on, but really needs to build in towards the likes of that Infinity Edge and get things going. As OmarGod's found one, it's only OddOrange, but he zips out with the flag and drag. Pretty tense, pretty crucial moment in this game. Again, CLG will know that they're behind moving into the fight, but they will have to do something about the objective.
And you see Fallnbandit starting to move up to this mid lane more often to assist with that kind of pressure that they need to actually contest the vision and push Fox Academy back, but Fallnbandit now in a bit of a funny spot.
Whoa, that was a funny one. Does pull him out of the hook shot, but actually going to go for the all-in because Damonte is going to make this a very unfair fight. Goodbye, Fallnbandit.
There you see the electrocute on Galio coming up huge to burst Illaoi down. It's super important to not allow fights against her to go on for prolonged periods of time, and that crazy regen becoming a factor. They end that fight instantly, and with that get a ton of bot lane pressure.
You kind of see why this combo is a thing that we're surprised to not see earlier in the LCS or the NA Academy. And looks like Baron started up. Gonna get some TPs in. There are 2 TPs. Damonte is the back one, I believe. There's Allorim, yep, in the front. So Damonte right where he wants to be in the middle of the enemy team to zone them out of the way. Taunt lighting up, gets Omar. Baron just gonna get rushed down here. Damonte forced to flash away. Does get stunned on the other side, doing a lot of damage though to Auto, and the Baron does go over to Fox. Damonte even gonna get away as Allorim looks at the re-engage in onto Omar. Forced to flash back into the pit towards his teammates. A bit of an oopsie there for the Camille, but everyone's alive as they take the Baron.
Yeah, at the end of it, you gotta say that's a net positive in a massive way, though it didn't look as clean as it could have. The double TPs, zoning out, buying them enough time to finish that Baron. Like you said, losing some flashes as they're not sure whether to press forward or retreat. But now, they have the Baron buff. They do lose the Infernal Dragon for it, but still a net favorable trade. And it's about, can they start taking these inhibitors down now with that pushing advantage?
Yep, again, Infernal, a good investment there for CLG Academy, and great for them to keep it off of FOXA, but the damage you generally do with the Baron should more than outweigh this. This is just dirty, just so dirty.
And Fallnbandit kind of gets baited into this fight. He's thinking that this is going great, my Steris Gauge prop, but boom! There's some backup and he gets destroyed. Camille was starting to hit that point where the laning starts getting a little bit easier for her. You get some sustain with the Ravenous Hydra, so you don't get poked out quite as easily, but you're still expected to win that fight if you're the Illaoi, until the backup shows up.
Yeah, doesn't feel very fair that Camille's ulti arena is about the same size as Galio's ulti knockup, but...
Yeah, Jarvan also ult locks you in this little small area, and then even if you flash out of it often, the Galio ult still clips you.
I smell some synergy.
Yeah, that is a pretty potent dive comp.
And again, if you kind of look at the top side, how well they've been doing, able to start these fights. You look at kind of the back end, what does the Ankel, what does the carry look like? Oh, it's a 3.5 item Caitlyn that's now storming down your turrets with Baron buff. FOXA Academy pressing forward here versus CLG. 6,000 gold and looking to make that lead a whole lot bigger.
You see that they are struggling a little bit with the wave clear. Xayah does have a decent amount, but none from the mid lane are really. Illaoi has a good wave clear, but you don't really want her paired up there when you're going to have a split pushing Camille. So going to be a couple of difficulties on the side of CLG to keep these minion waves out.
Oh, Phil does flash out there. Ignite Janna again. Gets himself out of the way. And that's the turret falling. Mid turret also weakened. And this is something we've seen a lot from Galio, especially when he was in vogue. Again, you think back to the end of last year. You can play pretty much any setup as long as Galio's in the middle, and you are going to pressure every single lane.
It's just such a dominating champion. A little squishier now than what we are used to seeing. So in that Baron example, when he was a little bit too far forward, did get chunked out and had to flash away, but still relatively tanky, but bringing a lot more damage now with the changes to make him a little bit more AP focused. And that kind of helps him destroy those turrets with that passive.
Yep. As Fallnbandit gets grabbed up, grabs up Allorim again. But again, continuous pressure here. Damonte caught. We'll see for how long. Ulti's out of the way. And he's fine. Totally fine.
Able to heroically exit. Yeah.
Hey, I knew where you were going. I like it.
Yeah, you're quicker than me. Random side note, just off the Illaoi matchup, if you do get your spirit tested, it's better to run away and break the tether than to take a bunch of free damage, because it's pretty easy to dodge the spawning tentacles, all things considered, especially when the turrets drop and you have a long lane to run down. So if she ever does land her E on you, I recommend backing away as opposed to letting her pound on the clone and give you a bunch of damage.
It might feel fun to play the minigame for a little bit and see if you can, you know, get out from under it and not become the vessel. Turns out, just quit the minigame. It's not good.
Yeah, you're going to take a lot of free damage. If you try and scare her off the vessel, then suddenly it's 2v1 with her ultimate and you're getting destroyed. So yeah, just break that vessel. Admit that you don't want to play that game.
No, well, Death Dance of Fallnbandit could add to that 1v1 potential, but 3 items also for Allorim, who again also has his team, especially that Galio, who's now 4 items through his build to really pump things up. 10,000 gold plus. Well, just about, actually, for FOXA Academy. Didn't break an inhibitor turret just yet, so those inhibs are up and protected for CLGA Academy, but that's about the end of the good news in this portion of the game.
I mean, all things considered, the fact that they were able to get that chunk out onto Damonte, force his defensive ultimate, did go a long ways to stalling out that Baron, and they are able to keep all their inhibitor turrets up, so overall, I'd say, given that you lost the Baron, that's a net win for CLGA Academy. Things could always go better. You could have killed the Galio, but you got to be happy with stalling out at this point, buying yourself more time to match those items. Like you said, Galio at 4 items, kind of at the end of what you expect his damage to be. He is still sitting on a Dark Seal. Does he upgrade that? Who knows?
Find out in just a minute, I imagine. But kind of what you're saying there says to me that CLG will be playing defense for quite a little while longer. I'd say probably 10 to 15 minutes as we'll play this game again. Fallnbandit trying once more, but Damonte's already in. OmarGod just can't get in through the ultimatum at all, and OddOrange is actually going to start the rest of the party off. CLG Academy do rotate down, but Fox right behind their team.
And strangely, OmarGod, yeah, like you said, blocked out by the ultimatum, but didn't even throw his ultimate in to try and stall out. Illaoi, like we said, this champion that if she can stay alive can drop a lot of damage, and with the Death Dance complete, if you give her time for her tentacles to do work, she should potentially be able to lifesteal up in that situation, but it seemed like OmarGod didn't want to pull the trigger, and now 4v5.
Yeah, tough stuff here for CLG Academy. Look to lose this mid inhibitor turret. It does go down. Now the inhib is exposed. That should fall as well. CLG Academy, I think, tickling the front line of FOXA Academy, but they will back away. Baron is back in 1:25, and there's a Cloud Drake on the table as well in 55 if they like that.
Things are getting out of hand now, 31 minutes in. FOXA has a pretty easy setup now for that Baron. They have the mid lane to push in and plenty of damage to burn it down quickly when that Baron spawns. CLG trying to go out right now as the enemy team's recalled, get that vision out to try and make it slightly more difficult, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what their plan to get back into this game is. Hard to find pickoffs against the Galio like they were trying to do here. Have to see why he did not just throw the ultimate. Goes for the W, sits on it, doesn't get involved, and kind of leads to the death of his top laner.
Yeah, forced to use his flash also at the end of that play. I mean, did get CC twice, but certainly had a window to throw the Glacial Prison, so Fallnbandit's going to have to feel like, hey, what are you doing? You're not a bystander.
Yeah, you're like,
call somebody.
What are you and your pig doing? Just watching. Get in here.
If you came in, it'd be a 3v3. Anyway, Allorim is going to start off the Cloud Drake here for FOXA Academy, and 20 seconds after that, Baron will be up and available, so Allorim can TP there, has plenty of pressure to apply to this bottom lane with the super minions also pressing in mid. And Damonte also got 10 stacks on now the Magi's actually, which is what the Dark Seal was upgraded into after getting that final one. Must be feeling pretty good about his situation.
Oh yeah, Galio loves when he can get all that free AP just for helping out his teammates.
Does a lot of helping as well. Allorim also going to start the party off. Fallnbandit, he's the one trapped in the center as OddOrange dives straight into the back of Phil. Damonte, huge amount of damage, basically combos down the Janna by herself. Lost dives on it Tuesday as they abandon their AD carry. Damonte forced to go into stasis from the zone for OddOrange down. A bit of a mess here as EchoFox overextend themselves. Tuesday going to try and chase down the last kill. Papa Chow, the only one left alive. He will live, but that was a disaster.
Yeah, who needs the support? You just got 4 kills in the mid lane as Baron spawns. CLGA Academy are going to grab that one as EchoFox have a disastrous fight. No battle line set up at all, no target focus. And they potentially have thrown the game away now.
I mean, we asked, you know, how is CLG possibly going to get the Baron with the setup? The answer was Fox just gave them a team fight that looked awfully bad, given how far ahead they were.
CLG Academy sat back. The overextension from EchoFox came in. Damonte, I thought he was going to ult in on somebody, but he was just flanking around the backside. And even though that looks nice that he was able to find that the whole time, Tuesday just said, all right, well, you know what? You go on my backline, I'll go on yours. And that huge Caitlyn gets soloed out. No one going in to protect her. Damonte could have tried to drop his ultimate, get the shield on him. Doesn't end up doing that. So here you see Allorim and OddOrange go into the backline trying to find the angle, and Damonte up on the top side is just doing his own thing and is not healing for loss. He's going to drop down to Tuesday. No one actually protecting him at all. And then because the backline was split on 3 different targets, Damonte, OddOrange, and Allorim all go down separately. Just no focus at all in that fight.
Galio was just so much squishier as well. I mean, Damonte through the stasis just didn't last at all once kind of everything broke loose. So, I mean, you thought with Camille, with the flank angle, Galio already, just press the buttons and let the ultimates do the work for you.
Yeah, that's the thing is why not drop your Galio ult? Maybe you're already off on the flank and it feels like a little bit of a waste, but didn't really use it. And Xayah, Janna, like we said, they do have a fair amount of disengage available, so if you don't land those ultimates correctly, you can very easily find yourself in a situation where you are going to die. And that's what happened there. It's not a clean engage.
Another defensive ult here for Damonte, although it might be good for a rotation, actually.
Yeah.
Is he going to look to try and take down this turret? No, not enough. Tuesday here with the rest of the team coming in to defend. Mid and Hib still down, but should be back up in a minute or two. And now CLG having the Baron, they might have just reset the game. Still behind pretty woefully in gold, but starting to matter less and less as the game ticks forward.
Yeah, Dragons are equal. Both have a Cloud and an Infernal, so there's not any advantage there. It is still hard for CLG Academy to push out. The matchup's still tough to fight in the 1v1, as well as all the map mobility available for Fox Academy, as you saw there, makes it hard to really aggressively attack anyone in the side lane. So they're going up 5 strong in the mid right now to try and push against this super minion wave.
I mean, obviously they can't see what we can see as far as, you know, what gold is where, but must be feeling very confident after picking up that Baron. I mean, Auto doesn't even have his next BF sword item upgrade to get, or a second Zeal item. Just has Essence Reaver, Shiv, and Lord Dominic's Regards. And he didn't have, I think it was the last whisper when that last fight happened. So if this is what Illaoi is doing in a scattered team fight from EchoFox, can clearly clean up if CLG Academy can find a better fight, or if Fox just do the same thing and really mess up the execution of that 5v5.
Yeah, it looks like right now they're just choosing not to opt into any 5v5s. Both Allorim and Damonte in the side lane split pushing. And like we said, CLG Academy trying to respond. It does stall out that push in the mid lane, but a little bit more gold going back their way. Down to 8,000 gold after it was in the 5-digit region.
It was, which is never good. Blue buff though also up, and again, EchoFox still have the foothold here on this map. Elder Dragon also available in a minute 50, but with that inhib respawning for CLG Academy, the last of those super minions should be dealt with in short order. And even though they'll be at another disadvantage as the next objectives do spawn, if nothing else, I think mentally CLG Academy will feel more comfortable with the fight. And as far as total items go, I mean, Janna's getting pretty strong, has 2 good items to help shield this Xayah. And Xayah's now actually at 4 items with the Infinity Edge completed.
Absolutely, and while CLG Academy's comp, like we said, doesn't have great engage tools and it feels very awkward, and they don't have as much CC, EchoFox's frontline is in a lot of ways squishier and less defensive. Vlad can pool, OmarGod's a straight tank, and Illaoi has that kind of drain tanking capabilities where Allorim, OddOrange, and Damonte all just kind of pop. They're not true tanks in any sense of the word. Papa Chau's the closest thing you have, but he's oftentimes going to be dealing with whoever's diving onto the Caitlyn, so it's not impossible for Otto to kind of chew through this front line of Fox should they flub their engages. If they land them, that's probably a dead Xayah.
Well, we'll have to see, because if Tuesday can freely dive the backline again, doesn't matter how good Lost is, he's not going to live, even with a Morphman Mortius now finishing his 6-item build. I mean, this is about as strong as your Caitlyn's going to get, so gonna have to play very well around this next Elder Dragon spawn. Looks like both teams know that that's the major objective, so there is gonna be a scrap.
And I like that Echo Fox is not instantly devoting all their resources to vision controlling around that. They know 30 seconds ago we can build up these side lanes, we can generate pressure, put CLG Academy into an awkward spot, and force them to react to our map pressure versus us reacting to their vision.
Yeah, again, remember, it's still tough geographically for CLG to really play around this map. If you misstep too far in the side lane or around the dragon, you'll re-lose the mid-inhib as Fox go in for that retake. So it is a little tricky, but Tuesday is dealing with this wave right now. Again, CLG have built up quite a lot of strength. I think execution is going to be certainly the thing I look for, especially from Echo Fox, is they're still ahead. Still cannot scrub the last team fight out of my head just yet.
It was abominable, so it's hard to forget, but they need to keep their confidence up. That is how their team comp works. You can go for this 1-3-1 strategy, of course, but you will eventually probably need to pull off a dive. If they're able to get the Infernal Dragon, though, maybe things do stay this easy. Tuesday in base right now doesn't have TP.
Yeah, timing not great.
Oh, swaps out. Yep. There we go.
There's the TP from Tuesday on the left-hand side of the screen, and that's enough to get Echo Fox Academy, off of the objective. In fact, nice leash there potentially. Might just swoop in and take it. My fight's on! Xayah grabs it of all people! And now the fight's gonna start for CLG Academy. A stun lands in from the ulti there as Otto collects the jungler.
Yeah, and Allorim and Damonte stopped giving their split push threats. So even though they lose that fight, they also are not able to push on the side waves and actually threaten the inhibitors. And so CLG Academy, another minor win, clawing their way back into this game.
And we talk about, the coordination for Echo Fox Academy looking good. CLG were the ones very coordinated around this play.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Galio not really going in, OddOrange prioritizing the objective instead of potentially looking at auto or fighting. So the Infernal Dragon goes over. Probably hard to win a team fight against that at that point. They likely would have wanted to have pulled the trigger before it got into that situation, but they took a little bit too long. CLG got the Elder Dragon down into smite range, and then you're playing the smite fight game instead of the team fight game.
Yeah, and just kind of had two different decisions to make, and I feel like didn't make either. You have two side laners with 3 globals, and no one joined that fight. Instead, it was Tuesday with a TP switch as CLG make the snap decision and come out nicely as a result of it. And now, Elder Dragon's going to be around long enough for this Baron to spawn. They'll have about 40% of it left after they take it, and more importantly, they'll have it to actually take the objective with.
Yep, stall, stall, stall. That's the name of the game here. Until you actually hit the even item power spikes. It will always be an uphill battle on the side of CLG Academy just because they will probably never be able to completely match the map pressure that Echo Fox has. But if you can get the Baron or a team fight, you can win. But instead, they're attacking the side laner and Illaoi.
Yep, Fallnbandit again going to get locked up. Damonte is going to find the combo win, but Fallnbandit doing what he can to last the night. Fallnbandit, no, dead to Allorim as Tuesday also makes his way in. GA popped though by the Vlad, but that does give Echo Fox traction back around the Baron. Allorim fighting Tuesday, but Tuesday regens so much on this Vlad. Flashing in. Whoa. Oh my god, a Tides of Blood double.
That was
Goodbye.
Spicy out of Tuesday, and with that, they're going to have complete control around this Baron buff. He's going to collapse over into this 2v, after winning that 2v1.
Alrighty, well, Baron's still on the table. Auto tag by the passive. Winter's Bite goes in. The dunk follows through. Auto, though, is going to live through it all. Pops the ulti. Roots Papa Chau back into it. Still, though, taking flank loss. Flashes in aggressively and takes down Auto. Echo Fox Academy trying to make the play. Tuesday roaming up, though. You have to be careful of this Vlad.
And they took that fight a little bit too early there. It was a 3v3 because Vlad was not given time to collapse from that bot lane. And Lost goes huge on that fight, finding Otto after a bit of a messy engage. Phil was able to keep Otto alive through the initial fight, and so you thought it was going to go well for them, but Lost overextends, but not done yet.
Yep.
Fallnbandit's back up.
Yeah, the chain of teleports continue. Fallnbandit running towards the team and then feints back towards the Baron. Looks like CLG Academy might have their eyes on the big purple worm despite not having their AD carry. Instead, Looks like they'll contend with Vision, and now a counter TP in the bot lane. Looks like that's Allorim going for the inhibitor.
Yeah, Allorim sees that the Illaoi wastes her TP in that situation, goes for the inhibitor. Now this is Brute forcing the Baron as well for Echo Fox, as all of CLG has actually recalled to deal with Allorim. This will stall out long enough for the Baron to go down, most likely, though.
Good dodge by Allorim, is again just trying to buy time for his team. Hook shots away, still not dead. Tuesday chasing him down. He move like should be enough here. Allorim does not have stasis left, so Tuesday unstoppable. Grabs the Camille, but that does gift Baron over to Echo Fox Academy.
All things considered, I believe that is good for Echo Fox.
Okay.
Including the double kill in the bot lane. It's really hard to factor all that in, but they end up with the Baron buff at the end of the situation. They have a 40-second death timer on the Camille, so during that time, CLGA Academy are going to push mid as hard as they can, try and get an inhibitor to neutralize the Baron pushing that will come in after the Camille respawns.
Well, certainly things getting pushed a lot further than we might have expected, given how the early game went. Lost is now 6 real items in air quotes, has a Mercurial Scimitar. Those boots have been sold back to the shop. And looks like this defense is pretty easy. Trap line's good. Clear the waves out with the Galio and the Caitlyn. And let your Camille come back in 10 seconds. 2 inhibs open on the side of CLG Academy. Echo Fox looking to try and take those out and finally maybe push some supers into those Nexus turrets and close out this game. But CLG's resilience has been on display here.
Yeah, absolutely showing that they do have the mental fortitude to stay in a game like this. Echo Fox Academy also showing that they don't quite have the closing ability that the main roster is known for, because we were trying to compare those two. So there's a little bit more work to be done in terms of the learning, but this game not out of the woods yet. It's very scary against CLG Academy's comp. They have a lot of late game damage and scaling. Vladimir picking up that death cap now. It's 7-1-1, showing that he has no issue chewing through the front line of Fox Academy, as well as we saw in previous team fights, lost.
And we expect, again, you know, champions like these bruises on Camille and the former mega tank Galio to be a lot tankier in those situations. But Tuesday saying no. I am far too strong for that. As the siege has begun here, Allorim is keeping things interesting in the bot lane. Ooh. A lot of damage on that Trinity Force. Fallnbandit gonna get stunned up. Ooh, good little ult there, but takes the chunk out from Precision Protocol. Allorim again still slowing down, gonna keep chasing through. Fallnbandit gonna get a GA pop as Omar looks to ult down. Turret goes. And again, Allorim looking to try and get the 1v2. It's his turn for the big outplay. But instead, CLG Academy will fall back. They need to make a decision here.
The Camille has completely taken over that 1v1, able to force Fallnbandit back, gets the inhibitor by herself in the top lane. The rest of Echo Fox are pushing down there. Mid lane also open. They've had enough of it for CLG.
Another ult from Tuesday. Damonte going to CC him up. Allorim going to try and get the stun down in, but can't find it. Tuesday still living through the play. Pops the status there, and that looks to be a dead Allorim, as it will be. Tuesday dominating, but now Echo Fox Academy roaming back around, but a little late to re-engage on this fight. They did get 2 inhibitors out of that. Allorim took the bot, and Echo Fox got the top, but little messy.
And here, Echo Fox actually is not going to back off. They want this 3rd inhibitor.
Might as well take it. Yep. CLG Academy, not enough strength left to push them out of their base, so Echo Fox Academy will collect almost everything, as it's just 2 Nexus turrets left for Echo Fox Academy to strike for one more time and finish off this game. But it has been a roller coaster ride, given where we started.
Oh, absolutely. In CLG, you see the problem of not having enough CC in this fight right here. They want to get onto one of these targets. Allorim ends up without enough summoners to get out. Baits out that engage. Damonte tries to get him out of there, but it's too little too late. And after winning this fight, you would like to see them continue to chase down different targets, but they're unable to get on to anybody, as OmarGod already used the majority of his CC, and you see just how much damage Galio's Q does now when you go this AP build. OmarGod dropped to about 40% HP, mostly off of just the Winds of War.
Yep, sitting in that Q a little too long. And like I said, given how much squishier Galio is, the trade-off is certainly worth it on the other side, as long as you don't get yourself killed too quickly. And now triple super minion lane pressure will force CLG far back. And if we make it that far, Mark, we will have another Elder Dragon potentially available. But I don't think Echo Fox Academy want this game to go on for too much longer.
Absolutely not. It's going to be on Lost here to help escort these minions in and then start working down these Nexus turrets. Requires a lot of coordination with his team, though, to make sure he stays alive while he tries to do that.
Well, we will not have Baron buff to escort these minions, but shouldn't need it. And again, Nexus turrets getting threatened, but Auto is just savaging down these waves on the Xayah. 5 items done as well. Still has the boots, so no true 6, but should still be happy with the amount of firepower. This Nexus turret finally getting aggressed on a bit, but CLGA Academy looking for that fight. Papa Chau getting shrunk, but OddOrange keeping everybody away. Lost needs to be a little bit more careful. Fallnbandit flashing in for the play, but they're peeling, trying as they will as Damonte covers OddOrange with an ultimate. Lost forced a little bit further back here. A very messy fight, but Fallnbandit finally dies to the Galio. On the other side though, it looks like a kill almost under OddOrange's Damonte. Stasis and flashes back out of the way. Tank line still good as Tuesday. Godlike takes down the Galio as Damonte is forced away.
They're able to win that fight. They do lose a Nexus turret to the minions. The other one at half HP, but after winning, they are going to be able to defend it. Fox, not deterred quite yet, wants to keep this pressure up despite the 4v4 that they're in.
Oh my goodness, OddOrange sniped by a feather, as that's going to call the play off.
That was a little overambitious by Fox. They wanted to get that last Nexus turret down, don't quite do it. A nice defense out of CLG Academy, and you see how scrappy these fights are. Feels like CLG's damage and team fighting strength is now better than Fox's, but they just don't have the CC to force that fight to continue going on. If Fox went purely disengage mode there, they might not have lost anybody.
Well, checking this one again, it lasted quite a while.
Yeah, Papa Chau gets chunked out early on in full retreat mode, Lost trying to kite. And you see they're not really going to be able to kill anybody until they go back in. And that's where eventually Tuesday's going to be able to find the follow-up kill onto Fallnbandit when he gets a little bit too close. Chunked out, excuse me, Damonte goes down.
Yeah.
Fallnbandit who dies afterwards.
Yeah, it's not enough. It's a trade 1-for-1 top for mid laner. Oh, Edo's orange. Yeah, he's just standing in minion wave. Yep. Just dies to a feather and a pullback.
It's hard to track those sometimes, especially when you got Caitlyn traps on the ground, feathers.
Especially when you have Baron, they're purple too.
Yeah, you got Illaoi tentacles on the ground. There's a lot of stuff that starts cluttering up these games.
Well, doesn't matter too much, thankfully, for OddOrange, as he will be up in time to take this Elder Dragon. Not that he's actually doing any jungling right now, because Papa Chau and Lost, determined to take this game firmly within their own grip. They're going to take down the Elder Dragon for themselves. And, ooh, look at this double play. Going to just chunk down the Baron. Also, Elder Dragon going to help out a lot between these three frontliners, I should say. Able to bash down that Baron, and surely, Mark, surely this will work. Surely. Inhibitor 1 back up. It's still 2 waves of pressure, and that should not be too tricky to take. Oh, make it 2. Or is that just the first one? That is just the first one, excuse me. Still 2 down here in mid and top, with the double big buffs in play here for Fox Academy.
Camille already working on this top one, takes it down very quickly. And like I said, look at that Galio damage now. Lands the Q, 1 tick of the AoE persistent damage, and drop down to health.
Oh my goodness. Almost 2 kills there for Damonte, straight up as he tries to stasis through the Hemoplague Redemption. They're going to go back in, and goodbye, Galio. Tuesday doing so much damage, but again, the inhibs do go down as a result. I mean, with the Baron and the Elder Dragon, 4v5, maybe they fancy keeping this push going.
We'll have to see. I mean, that is the Sejuani ult down. That is the only real form of engage that they have. You do have to be worried about just getting caught out by Otto's CC.
Mid inhib also respawn, so it's only 2 down for CLG Academy. It's going to be tricky to get involved. Janna is giving Otto so much extra power late into these fights as well, and that is going to force Fox away as we're cresting the 51-minute mark.
I'm a little surprised to see Fox back out there. I understand you don't want to die and you don't want to force any action, but with OmarGod not having his ultimate for a little bit longer, there's no real way for them to get onto you. You don't need any more items. We're taking a look at this. As much as we were talking about how much damage Damonte does with this build, he takes it just as quick back. So the ultimate lands, puts him in a bit of a bad spot, now has to use his Xayahs, and while that stalls him out, it doesn't put him in any better of a position. Very smart positioning by OmarGod there to walk to the far side of the Galio, so if he tries to just his punch away, he just bumps into you, cuts that path off, and like we said, pops very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think that was a Hemoplague-empowered Xayah crit plus the Hemoplague pop damage that killed poor Galio. Not nearly enough time to pop that W. And so will go down as a result. He's back in play now though, as that minute respawn timer has now finished, and can ult back into a fight if they want to start it here. But again, still troublesome. Baron up for a little while longer. looks like about 30% of the duration left. So EchoFox will have a chance to likely push 3 super minion waves in, or at least to start a fight. A
nice
beautiful
QSS
from Lost. And Damonte again back in position if they want to re-engage, but EchoFox playing this one appropriately slow.
Right, that is the primary form of engage down. Allorim, despite getting chunked up, has a total of 3 lifesteal items completed now, so he just heals up perfectly fine.
And even just going to walk up and just threaten these turrets again, just not being stopped at all. Allorim actually just maybe going for the Nexus. I mean, Tuesday's dead. I just don't think they can do anything. EchoFox, they finally find the pits. Oh my goodness, Allorim chunks down the Nexus, a solo mission, but will push EchoFox to the victory in a 52.5-minute game.
Maybe the closest range backdoor I have ever seen. You're backdooring with the enemy actually in their base, able to close that one out. Very impressive play out of Allorim.
I mean, it was map play all game long, it felt like, for EchoFox Academy. You know, 3 globals between the Galio and the 2 TPs with Camille and their mid laner. They made so many different plays with their TPs. Certainly 5v5 didn't look too good in the midsection there, but I guess they had a plan and they stuck to it.
Yeah, and here we'll take another look at that final play by Allorim. CLG Academy's getting desperate, and they focus down the 4-man in the mid lane, so he just says, you know what, screw it, I'm running up mid. And he's able to get the damage down, starts getting very low, gets blasted back, then a flash forward and get the empowered Q for the final hit on it. And that was surprising that they were not actually able to keep Allorim off it. They were in a losing situation anyways, that's likely the end of the game, but very impressive to see Allorim take matters into his own hands.
I mean, it's funny, we almost always talk about split pushing as the thing that gives you this advantage to get to the inhibitors, and when a super minion spawn, generally the rest of the job's pretty easy. That was the first time I think I've ever seen a split push happen where you basically split the map so much that your Camille could backdoor a Nexus, because that was the same principle applied, just in a very weird way.
Yeah, absolutely one of the weirder backdoors we've ever seen.
It worked. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no hate. It definitely worked. It's just weird to see. And overall, though, it was a great game out of Allorim. He did get counterpicked after taking the Camille. They had a very clear snowball topside strategy, but he didn't actually need any help for the majority of that game. Won topside all on his own.
Well, to hear more about that victory, I'd like to welcome Lost to the broadcast via Skype. Lost, how you doing after a 53-minute game there?
I'm pretty tired out actually, but you know, with such a long game, it actually feels so much more satisfying to come out victorious. So yeah, I'm feeling really good.
You say satisfying, but would you have rather continue snowballing that game, or do you like the kind of triple Nexus base defense that you have to start, or triple inhib base defense that you got pushed out on?
I'd prefer an earlier win because long games are really stressful. But you know, it would be nicer if we ended it early. But you know, that's just how it went out. And I'm just really glad we won.
And in general, of course, it's pretty early in the season for you guys, but you yourself, as an import player in Academy, have been playing exceptionally well. Kind of what's the experience like having so much early success?
I'm just glad I'm not disappointing too many people. I think I'm doing all right. I'm just really glad I'm surrounded by really helpful and pretty talented teammates. So yeah, I'm just glad to have my team around me. I'm feeling pretty good.
I think you've definitely been one of the highlight players thus far in Academy. Very impressive KDA, and then also in-game, just very aggressive play overall. Playing a lot through you this game. Was that something that was a draft strategy where you could go either top or bottom, and you were deciding on bottom in-game, or was it more of a pre-game decision?
For us, we actually drafted to probably play for top side, but things just turned out that we could play for the bot side because we were getting lane priority and whatnot, and then we ended up taking first turret, I believe. So yeah. It wasn't really just kind of on the sketch thing.
Well, kind of fun stuff there. My final question to you, just kind of a general metagame thing. Obviously, 8.2 had a pretty massive slew of changes. You know, as the AD carry for your team, how do you think those changes affected the bot lane?
Now that Targon's isn't really a thing because it got nerfed, things are more, I think, aggressive in the bot lane because, you know, there's less sustain, you know, getting chunked or mistakes get punished more. So I probably like it more that way. There's no, like, you know, just chilling in the bot lane, more aggressive play style. So, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Well, certainly been successful so far. Thank you so much, and good to see Oceania being represented in the NA, at least some ways. But thank you so much for joining us, Lost.
Thank you so much, guys.
No worries, thank you. He's doing all right. How many times has this kid died?
Yeah, I don't know. Single digits, probably?
I think it's definitely single digits. It might be literally one digit. Well, our first commercial break is coming right up, but stay tuned to the Academy League for Game 2, where Cloud9 takes on Optic Gaming. Tuesday going to get stunned in. No, it's actually OmarGod. They're going to lock in instead. There's the Galio Jarvan combo. Goodbye, Omar. Low damage back in. Allorim's actually coming to the top side with a TP. Lost gets one. That's going to be two. Allorim collects a second. EchoFox 2 kills and the turret. Fallnbandit, he's the one trapped in the center as OddOrange dives straight into the back of Phil. Damonte, huge amount of damage. Basically combos down the Janna by herself. Lost dies though to Tuesday as they abandon their AD carry. Allorim fighting Tuesday, but Tuesday regens so much on this Vlad. Flashing in. Oh my god, a Tides of Blood double. And even just going to walk up and just threaten these turrets again. Just not being stopped at all. Allorim actually just maybe going for the Nexus. I mean, Tuesday's dead. I just don't think they can do anything. EchoFox, they finally find the pits. Oh my goodness, Allorim.